recently there have been numerous articles in the press about the challenges that women entrepreneurs face in sourcing venture capital. In April, Fast Company ran an article, Startups, an Alpha Male Pissing Contest. Great title. And more recently, Business Week, Closing the Venture Capital Gender Gap. Women launched nearly half of all startups, yet they lead only 7% of companies backed by equity financing. And also in Forbes recently, only 10% of venture capitalists are women, and that's not good for business. In your opinion, what needs to happen so that more women entrepreneurs can raise venture capital? And there's two parts to this that I want an answer for.
Sure.
From the part of women entrepreneurs, what do we have to do? And also from the part of venture capitalists.
Yes.
Thank
Well,
you.
let's start with venture capitalists. There are not enough women in venture capital today, and that's part of the problem. Venture capital tends to be clubby in the sense that you tend to have confidence and trust and perhaps better communications with people that you feel more alike than people you feel less alike. And that applies across genders as well. I do think that there's a generation of younger venture capitalists who are male, who are particularly more comfortable with heterogeneity, including gender heterogeneity. And I also think that we do have places like Kleiner Perkins. We have a number of partners who are women partners, probably disproportionate for the industry, who help not just with our relationships with women business people, but also to establish the right sensibility inside the partnership. So I think that it's important for venture capital to be more embracing of heterogeneity, not just gender heterogeneity, but all heterogeneity. And I think gender heterogeneity is part of that. From the women entrepreneurship side and from the entrepreneur side, my sense is that I hear this concern from women who I have a lot of confidence in this business all the time, who tell me that they think that women entrepreneurs aren't as bold, aren't as aspirational, aren't as far-reaching as their male counterparts. And I don't think that caution is a good thing when it comes to venture capital. Venture capitalists like bold ideas. They like people who they think are going to have high aspirations and are going to reach for large disruptive inflection points in the marketplace. So I think women should not hold back. They should be as bold and as aspirational as they feel in approaching their businesses. And the venture capital community needs to be more welcoming of differences and heterogeneity.
Thank you. Women have different skill sets than men and different ways of looking at the world and running businesses. And that indicates to me that having more women run startups would actually help business and the economy generally. I noted this in the online dating industry, as I mentioned, where men, co-founders and CEOs often use tricks and subterfuge to keep people on the sites. What do you think women can contribute to business that men may sometimes miss?
What I'm impressed with is that the women I work with in business tend to be more purposeful in the way they approach business. We're here to make some gross generalities. I think that it is not an uncommon trait amongst men to treat business as a game, to think about it as buying low and selling high, to think about winning and losing. Whereas the women entrepreneurs I work with are as competitive and as capable as any of the men, but often think much more holistically about what they're doing, why they're doing it, and how that impacts others, not just their customers and employees, but their communities. And so I think women bring a holistic sensibility to business that business sorely needs, as we've just seen in the last big downturn, where corners were cut and gambits were hatched that sunk an entire economy, a global economy. I don't think that's what I would expect from women leaders in similar roles.
Wow, thank you. You're on our side.